Turkish Association of North Carolina. We have a handful of volunteers. They have been putting together this festival for 10 years. And every single one was excellent, and this is going to be great too. I'd like to invite Buket Aydemir, one of the committee members, to go through everything with the festival with you guys. And please join me to get right here.
Thank you, everyone. Welcome. It's so nice to have you here on a sunny Sunday. This is the 10th year. This is the 10th time that I'm doing this. Believe me, I'm nervous still, which is a good thing, you know. We want to keep the quality and meet the expectations and all that. So again, my name is Buket Aydemir. This is the 10th year. It's a tradition. We normally start by hearing Nazım's voice. And this is the poem I picked this year. It's kind of a, we are used to, or we like his poems where he addresses human rights and current issues and then bring us up. This is more of a, it makes us cry every time we hear, let's put it this way. The reason I picked that though, it's worldwide recognized and turned into songs in many different languages. So let's hear. I hope you were able to read the poem in English. This is interesting. This is a loose translation code of the poem, and Pete Seeger actually is the main composer who composed that. And if you are interested, you can hear the interpretations in music of different artists. Yes, these pictures. I look better now than I did 10 years ago. From our first festival, believe it or not, it took place in NC State. But we wanted to find a home that is that doesn't have a poetry event and welcoming us and all that. So again, we are so glad that we were able to reach our 10th year. Oh, let me go back. So I would like to introduce my organizers from the very first day. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm emotional. I will start the story. I had an idea, which was nothing compared to this. Let my friends know. So Birgül Tuzlalı was the first one telling me that I'm with you, we will do it together. Birgül Tuzlalı. Pelin Balı was the second person. She said, I'm with you. She came up with the idea that a poetry event dedicated to Nazım Hikmet has to recognize and serve new poets. So our idea, which has been developing, that's serving the poetry community, serving the new poets, actually it was originally Pelin's idea. I cannot take credit for that. And of course, it was only one single event that we were together. Mehmet was there. You know what he did? He did not say anything. He took his phone, he started texting his friends. So we had the team formed right there at that moment. And I will come back to that moment soon. But I want to introduce new members of the organization committee. Richard Kravik. He's not.
He's upstairs.
He's upstairs. He's upstairs. He's planning a surprise for us, I believe. We are honored to have him with us. And of course, Ezgi Üstündağ, she has been with us last 2 years. It's very nice to have some young views and energy with us in the festival. As our Vice President Mehmet Gökten mentioned, the festival is organized by American Turkish Association of North Carolina. It's a non-profit organization dedicated to serving North Carolina communities, and I am proud to be a member of that organization because we don't try to just show you the Turkish culture. We do believe in the exchange. Without a platform to have a true exchange, you cannot enhance your own culture and own being. So for the second year, Birgit and I came to this place because we always love this place. We talked to Chris Carmichael. We said, we want to rent this place. She said, why? Making the long story short, they said, we want to support you. So Town of Cary has been supporting us both financially through their Park Recreation and Cultural Arts department, and also providing this place and many other support that I cannot name. So again, without this, it would have been possible. So almost every year or so, we work with different representatives from the Town of Cary, and they all have been excellent. This year, we have been working with someone who I believe has been doing beyond what she's supposed to do. I truly feel like she's taking these festivals as Town of Cary's festivals and helping us reach better points with these activities. So I would like to invite Jennifer Hagen.
I would like to say that welcome, first of all, to this event, and that the Town of Cary is proud to partner with the American Turkish Association of North Carolina and with other groups to present this festival every year for the last 8 years, and now on the 9th year and 10th overall, which is an amazing accomplishment. And we're really excited that you were able to expand this year for a special celebratory weekend of concerts, as well as the film and the workshops that were all this past couple days. But I just want to know, I'm just doing my job. I mean, I want to support you. I want to do everything I can for you so we can all, because we all benefit when we get everybody involved here. And it's really been a great thing working with the Turkish Association. We switch groups every once in a while, so we all get a chance to experience different cultures, which in itself is a wonderful part of being in the Cultural Arts Division. Is that I've worked with the Indian group, I've worked with the Turkish group, the Hispanic group, the Jewish group, and getting a chance to meet everybody and learn a lot. So again, I just want to thank you all for being here, and after the reception at the end, if you wouldn't mind saving me a piece of baklava, I would really appreciate it.
Again, she covered the most important aspect, maybe, that we do have a reception. Please do stay. So, of course, we have other sponsors. The Middle Eastern Studies Department has been with us both financially and also providing resources, giving us guidance from day one. Jakar Press has been a major supporter in the same way. They also bring Jakar Press by providing poetry writing workshops here at the Turkish House. It's close by. It's also helping us provide services to the community. And of course, North Carolina Poetry Society. We will hear from them later on, but it's so nice to have this partnership with them too. And of course, we have individual sponsors. We have an excellent team of sponsors cooking for us, getting this place prepared, and each and every member of the American Turkish Association Executive Committee and board member have been working hard to make this event happen. So if you are here, let us know. Can you stand up? I see some members here. Yes. Thank you so much. So again, let's go back to our first year. Can we take 5 more minutes of your time to talk about the first year? I would like to invite my original co-organizers to the stage.
Good afternoon, everyone. We lost a dear friend this past year, and we thought that it would be right to start our festival with her, and I'm referring to K-Bio. When we decided to start a poetry festival 10 years ago, all 4 organizers, we love poetry, but we're outside the poetry world. So we knew that we needed the support of the North Carolina poetry community. And so we decided to reach out to a few individuals. And K-Bio was one of them. And you can imagine, I'm writing this first email to Kay, I'm pretty intimidated. I'm writing to the poet laureate of North Carolina, and I don't know how she's going to reply. That was really amazing because she was like instantly on board, and oh my God, she was so excited, and she did a lot of things. She immediately, our competition was on her website, and this is a big deal.
I'm pointing to the PowerPoint here. This is the day she posted this. It was amazing.
Essentially, North Carolina Poet Laureate is basically saying, this is a legit competition, do submit. And this was really a big deal. But also Kay gave us a lot of ideas about how to do this right. So we were in constant communication with her and so forth. And then she said, well, I want to donate to the festival. And then just out of her own pocket, she donated this large sum of money, which we didn't know what to do with. And that gave us the idea of actually awarding our winners. Well, actually, at that point, we didn't even know that we would have a group of winners every year. Because normally poetry competitions have 1 winner, right? So we thought that it would be really fitting to Nazım and his ideals to actually have a group of winners every year announced instead of 1 winner for the whole festival. And so with Kay's donation, of course, she wanted to stay anonymous. She's not here with us, so I hope she...
You are overwriting that.
I'm overwriting that. So we didn't talk about this. This is the first time we are mentioning this. But she, you know, with that actually, she really helped us shape the festival as well, the competition to begin with. So, let's see if
okay, so that was her first post. You know, this is very, I mean, you can imagine how excellent we felt by that support. And then, for the festival, she sent us a note.
Yep. This is her letter for 2019 festival. The celebration of Nazım Hikmet's contribution to the world of poetry has become today's celebration of North Carolina poetry as well. Bringing the two together has been one of the most important events I have witnessed since I became laureate. Thanks to this festival, I have been introduced to Hikmet's poetry, and I have seen, as a judge of this year's contest, an amazing outpouring of poetry here in our state. Never before have I beheld such a splendid gathering of submissions to a poetry contest. Trying to choose among them was the most difficult task I have encountered as a judge. I congratulate the winners, all the poets who submitted their work, and the organizers of this festival. I'm grateful to have been a part of this event. Thank you. K-Bio.
Okay, so that same year, Kay also gifted a poem for our book. So I'm going to read that. This is called Each Morning, and it was written while she and her husband were visiting Budapest in 2008. And her opening line is from Nazım, "Today is Sunday, for the first time they took me out into the sun." Beneath the church we saw each morning, descending to breakfast, lay ruins of a mosque, perhaps tombs, perhaps ponds buried under the foundation. We climbed to Gül Baba's crypt to find locks on the gate. Roses clung to the fence as if trying to reach us. But nowhere could I find a poem by the dead poet, unless it lay inside the petals of each rose, like dreams beneath eyelids. We stood on the Market Bridge, watching the Danube keep flowing. We studied the timetables, which trains to Istanbul, which to Slovakia, Bulgaria. Budapest glowed in the sunset, an ancient fire banked, embers pulsing like quasars. Each morning the sky opened as to a captive released after years of imprisonment. Where had we been all our lives? Had our eyes become so used to how the sun rose and set over our homeland that we had forgotten how sky unfolds elsewhere? That words, not our own, sing their stories through alleys and crowded streets. Deserts of exile, lying at night in our 4-star hotel. I heard words turn to flesh again. I heard my heart beating, as if a jewel in my chest began begging for safekeeping, sounding its two unmistakable words: this life, this life.
If you remember the date, April 19, 2009 is the date for the first Nazım Hikmet Poetry Festival. And she did post this on this exact day. I'm not putting those things to advertise our festival. We all know how big. The care she put into everything she did, this is a proof of that. You know, who would keep track of all the festivals and post about them? And she did continue to post about Nazım Hikmet in this festival and the interaction with her.
Yeah, what I want to say is that one of the best parts of the festival being a festival organizer is that over the years I gained so many friends. Even though I'm not a poet, just love poetry, Kay was one of them that took me as a friend, and over the years we developed our friendship. I admire her big time because being a poet laureate, she really did feel that title. She adopted North Carolina as her own hometown, started this blog at the mountains, and carried on for the rising poets. And every time we saw each other, we hug each other, we come across in several events, and my heart really is in pain just thinking of her.
She was our invited poet during the 2013 festival, and we miss her really.
She was a judge.
Oh,
And godmother of our festival.
we can go on, as you can tell.
We love you, Kay.
Now we are all emotional, we don't know what's next. Well, I have the clicker. Yes, Mehmet, would you please come back here?
So, we believe very strongly that North Carolina is a very lucky state. We have the North Carolina Poetry Society, which is a very active society and brings a lot of poets together, so we're really fortunate. And to basically support them, we started a tradition of inviting North Carolina Poetry Society every year to introduce the society to new people here who may not be familiar with the society. but also we decided to invite their top winners, poet laureate winners of their competition. And the poet laureate winner competition is judged by the poet laureate himself or herself. So Shelby Stevenson was our poet laureate, of course, this year. And I really would like to thank him and Joan for rushing the competition, because they were behind the timeline, and their winner was announced just a few days ago, and we're thankful to our winner here, who's agreed to come and read to us. So I'd like to introduce Joan Marszewska from the North Carolina Poetry Society, and she will introduce.
I see familiar faces and new faces here. April is National Poetry Month, and it's so wonderfully busy in North Carolina. I often say that the Triangle is just lousy with poets. They crawl out of the woodwork. In fact, yesterday I went to a workshop and a reading in Hillsborough. Today, in order to be here, I'm missing another reading in Hillsborough of 2 people who were in my critique group, but it's well worth it. And one more thing, if you're not aware of the national project, Poem in Your Pocket Day. Poem in Your Pocket Day is April 26th. Anybody can do this. Your children, grandchildren can do this. Find a poem, go to the library, look online, find a poem, copy it, put it in your pocket, share it with your coworkers, your friends, on a street corner, and spread the word. Poetry. The North Carolina Poetry Society was founded in 1932. The antiquity of our old logo reflects that. Do you see the quill and the ink jar? Our new brochure, which is right out on the display table, has our snazzy new logo. So the society was founded in Charlotte and serves the large and diverse community of poets in our state and beyond its borders. Poetry is a solitary pursuit which benefits from community. A community gathering such as this splendid one, and the many opportunities for gathering which the North Carolina Poetry Society offers to its members. Membership in the North Carolina Poetry Society entitles one to receive, and I'm going to list many benefits here. I'm a good saleswoman. To receive the monthly eMuse electronic newsletter, and our editor is sitting right there, Cal Nort. You can speak to him later. Which is now expanded to include poetry events throughout our state. A thrice weekly print newsletter delivered to your mailbox. Free participation in the annual adult contests with their 11 categories and student contests. And you are about to hear one of the 2018 winners read her poem, Betty Ritz Rogers, who is sitting right here. A copy of Pine Song, which is our anthology of the winning poems. Attendance at quarterly meetings at the beautiful Weymouth Center for the Arts in Southern Pines, although guests are certainly welcome. And at Weymouth, it's a day of readings and workshops and fellowship. On May 12th in Weymouth, we'll have our awards day, which is a gala occasion and includes the student award winners and their teachers, some as young as 4th graders who need a stool at the podium to read their poems. Participation in book contests for both published and unpublished manuscripts. Participation in workshops throughout the state, including underserved areas in the East and in the mountains and in small towns. We're working on outreach so that poets may develop their craft. A competitive mentorship program of distinguished poets who mentor adult and student poets for a year, which includes readings. We are affiliated with and collaborate with arts organizations, conferences, readings, and literary events statewide, including this festival. The mission of the North Carolina Poetry Society is to support, promote, and celebrate poetry in North Carolina, which has been called the writingest state. I like that. Not a word. Take one of our brochures and find out how easy and inexpensive it is to become a member. We welcome you. Now it's time to introduce Betty Ritz-Rogers, but I'd like to take a moment to speak about last year's Poet Laureate winner who spoke here. Many of you remember her reading her poem. She handed out a photograph of a woman's feet, a young woman's feet, a long white dress, a jar at her feet. That was Bonnie Corta. Bonnie died on March 9th. She was a beloved member of our community. And she wrote a poem which I found, the title and the poem portended her death. She'd been sick for a while. It is called I Am Falling. The first line, I have been falling all my life. And now I would like to introduce Betty Ritz-Rogers, this year's Poet Laureate winner. She's going to read her winning poem and then read 4 other poems. Maybe 3, I'm not certain. A retired public health nurse, Betty Ritz-Rogers reads and writes poetry, walks dogs, and tends a woodland garden in Greensboro. She and her husband Stuart, who is with us today, have 3 adult children. Betty studied English literature at a small college in West Virginia and later at the University of North Carolina, Greensboro. She has published poems in Pine Song, which is the anthology that I mentioned before, and Southern Poetry Review. She was the winner of the 2014 North Carolina State Poetry Contest. Betty Ritz-Rogers.
Excuse me. Thank you so much for inviting me. I am truly honored. And thank you for introducing me to this poet. I am ashamed to say that 4 days ago I didn't know him, but I've been reading him for the last 2 days. And I told my husband if he weren't dead, I'd run away with him. The poem that was great summer palace near St. Petersburg, and I chanced to meet an old woman in the gardens, and she had survived the siege of Leningrad. And I imagine in this poem what she could have told me if she spoke English or I understood Russian. Peterhoff, remembering the siege of Leningrad. On a loaf of stone